Okay, so we're going to do a quick factoring review. This is just a graphic organizer that breaks down all the different factoring methods. So the very first thing you always check is to see if there's a greatest common factor. After you've done that, then you want to see, is it 2 terms, 3 terms, or 4 terms that you're factoring. If it's 2 terms, you want to see if you can do the difference of squares, meaning that it is subtraction and you can take the square root of each term. Okay, so some examples right here. So we can take the square root of each of these terms and it's subtraction. So the square root of x squared is x and the square root of 64 is 8. So you say x plus 8 and x minus 8. Okay, on this one, first we have a greatest common factor that we need to take out. So we can take a 2 out of both of those. We can take an n out. So we have 2n. So 18m squared divided by n, 18m squared n divided by 2n is 9m squared. And then over here we have negative 2n cubed divided by 2n is going to be, well, the 2's cancel each other out, and so n cubed divided by n is n squared. Okay, so then from there, we have 2 terms right here. So we want to see if we can do the difference of squares with it, and we can because we can take the square root of each term. So that 2n that we took out, we just pull it down. The square root of 9m squared is 3m. And the square root of n squared is n. So you say 3m plus n and 3m minus n. And that's our answer right there. Okay, if it were 3 terms, if it's a trinomial where it does not have a number in front of the x squared right here, and then you just do basic factoring. So you find what numbers multiply to give you your c and add together to give you your b. So on this first example, what multiplies to give you negative 42 and adds together to give you negative 1 is negative 7 and 6. So you just say x minus 7, x plus 6. On the second example, we have a greatest common factor we need to take out first. So we need to factor a 2 out of everything. So we're left with w squared plus 10w plus 25. And then from there, you want to do basic factoring. So what multiplies to give you 25 and adds to give you 10? Well, 5 and 5. So that 2 we took out, we just pull it down. We have w plus 5, w plus 5. Okay, now if you want to condense this down, because we don't want to have 2 of the same factors, you just say 2, you say w plus 5 to the power of 2, because that was written there twice. And that's our answer. Okay, if you have a trinomial that does have a number in front of the x squared, then you use the slip and slide method. Okay, well first you always check to see if there's a greatest common factor you can take out. We can divide a 3 out of everything here. So we're left with 10x squared minus 9x plus 2. Okay, then from there we'll do slip and slide. So take the 10, slip it down to the end. That 3, we just pull it down. So we have x squared minus 9x, and 10 times 2 is 20. Then we want to factor what multiplies to give you 20 and adds to give you negative 9. It's negative 4 and negative 5. So 3 we took out, we just pull it down. Say x minus 4, x minus 5. Since we multiplied times 10 up here, you have to divide by 10. We want to simplify our fractions down. 4 over 10 simplifies down to 2/5. 5 over 10 simplifies down to 1/2. We don't want fractions, so we take our denominators and slide them up in front. So that 3, we just pull it down. Then we have 5x minus 2 and 2x minus 1, and that's our final answer. Okay, and then the last method is when you have 4 terms, that's grouping. Okay, so you want to cut it in half. Out of the first half, what's the greatest common factor that we can take out? Well, we can take an a squared out of both terms. So 2a cubed divided by a squared is 2a, and negative a squared b divided by a squared is negative b. Out of the second half, what can we take out of both of these? We can take a 5 out. 10a divided by 5 is 2a, and negative 5b divided by 5 is negative b. So what's in parentheses is the same. So these 2 terms right here, we can pull it together. So we have a squared plus 5 and then we have 2a minus b, and that's our final answer. Okay, so this sums up all the different factoring methods that we've talked about, and it's just a graphic organizer that puts it all on one page. Just remember the first step is always you check to see if you have a greatest common factor. Then if it's 2 terms, you do difference of squares if you can. If it's 3 terms, you got to figure out which method you want to use, basic factoring or slip and slide. And then if it's 4 terms, you have grouping.